Hare Krishna. My Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Today is such an auspicious day, the Tirobhava of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Prabhupada. At present, I am residing in a clinic in South India, and there's no association here with me at the moment. But still, I feel inspired to offer a Pushpanjali today, on this most sacred day, of this divine personality, Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati. I can't speak very loudly because we're restricted with sound here, but still I'll make an offering to the best of my ability. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. I offer my Dandavat pranams to my beloved Gurudev, Bhakitsiddhanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and the same again to our most beloved Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to our dearmost Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And today, on this sacred day, I'm offering my Sastang Dandavats to our dearmost Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Prabhupada, and also to Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, and also to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So this is our lineage, this is our line. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he inscribed the line in so many words of wisdom, in so many granthas he presented to the world, in so many bhajans he presented to the world. And his divine son, Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, took up that task to propagate those same teachings of his father, which of course are the same teachings as Satchinandana Gaurahari, the same teachings as Rupa Raghunath. So this is the current, this is our line, and we glorify Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati today with immense happiness and joy at this opportunity to glorify, to whatever is our capacity, this divine personality who took these teachings physically into the world. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur inscribed all these teachings. He taught himself, of course, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta really took up the action of implementing these teachings into society in a very significant way. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati took his birth in 1872, and he leaves this world in 1936. So he was only briefly performing his preaching work comparatively just for 62 years. So we know the pastime of his dedication to his father in his childhood, and his exhibiting his divine qualities at the very time of his birth, even with his umbilical cord stretched around like a Brahman thread, and it seemed like marks of the Vaishnava tilak was on his body. And then it was his great fortune to take his first grains at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath during the Jagannath Ratha Yatra festival, and the garland around Lord Jagannath fell and wrapped itself around the baby. So many signs indicating from his very birth this ray of Vishnu that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had prayed for to carry on this movement of Satchinandana Gaurahari. And then in his years growing up, he demonstrated his iron-like, unwavering focus on following carefully the injunctions of Shastra when he was just 7 years old, when he took an unoffered mango, and then he was reprimanded by his father for that, and took a vow for his whole life never to eat mangoes again, which he held up. So he shows us through so many different impressions, right from the very beginning of his life, what an amazing divine personality, not a person from this world at all. And he lived his whole life in that way. He was not walking in the material atmosphere like we are at any time. So when he, later on, he took his vow to chant 1 billion names, dedicating his life to utmost bhajan and focus of the Lord, and showing his nishta in the holy name of the Lord. So during this time, it's described he lived very austerely in Mayapur. And then in 1913, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj left this world. In 1914, his dear most beloved father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, left this world. Then in 1915, his divine spiritual master, Srila Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, left this world. So 3 years in a row, all these divine personalities who were surrounding him from birth walked out of his life. So he was left bereft. At that time, we know the pastime, he took sannyas in front of a picture of his beloved Srila Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, setting a precedent for his independent, strong focus and nishta and desire to embrace this sannyas ashram in order to fulfill the mission of Satchinandana Gaurahari and the mission of his divine masters. So he came to Calcutta to begin his preaching, and somehow by the magnificence of his stature and eloquence in speaking and resonance with the absolute reality, he attracted so many remarkable young educated men to his flag, to his mission. And these young men, they were able to carry the depths of his mission into this world, so that we today can be fully nourished by these esoteric, profound teachings of Rupa and Raghunath that his father had inscribed. So amongst all these personalities who came, rallied to his call, was this immense personality, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. And he very, very eloquently writes a beautiful stava, beautiful poem called Sri Prabhupada Padma Stavaka. And today I want to read this poem and comment briefly on any of the lines that I feel Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati is inspiring me to say anything. So I have no qualification whatsoever, but I just have an inspiration from my Gurudev, ignited by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to make this offering, to glorify this Pushpanjali, to glorify with some flowers today this divine personality, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. So I'll read the Sanskrit, which has a beautiful rolling rhythmic meter, which is very beautiful to sing. And before we begin, we can just appreciate that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he so much appreciated this stava that his servant, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, had composed, that he requested it be sung in all of his temples around the world. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati erected 64 mutts during his brief lifespan, and all over India this was the achievement that he offered to his divine mistress, Shri Radhika, in glorification of Shri Brajendrananda and Shyam Sundar. So this Stavaraj begins, Sujana Buddhara Dita Pada Yugam Yuga Dharma Dharandara Patra Varam Varada Vayadaya Kapuja Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam. And then this translates as his two lotus feet are worshipped by an unlimited number of saintly persons. Unlimited number of saintly persons. And he is the most competent personality to lead the process of realization for this age. Nam Sankirtan. So competent because of the excellence of his birth and the transcendental gifts that he was bestowed with. He was a Shrutidar. He could memorize any page from any literature that he chose to read for life. He could memorize this. So, and he had such profound affection and depth for his love for Sri Radhika. Of course, we know in his eternal identity, it's Nayani Mani Manjari, Nayani Mani Manjari, which represents the lotus-eyed glance of Srimati Radhika. He's the embodiment of that glance of Sri Radhika. That's what his name means, Nayani Mani Manjari. So this is who he is in Aprakat Leela. His adorable lotus feet grant all kinds of benedictions and fearlessness. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura Prabhupada. Bhajana jita sajana sangha patim patita dika kunna karunayaika gatim gati vanjita vanjata chintya padam pranamami sada Prabhupada padam. He is the leader of the assembly of saints who are powerful in bhajan. Yes, he demonstrated this from the very beginning when he chose to offer 1 billion names to the Lord in Mayapur. He took that vigorous, rigorous vow. He is most compassionate to the fallen, as he is their sole refuge. His inconceivable feet deceive the cheaters. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, his inconceivable potency will deceive the cheaters, which most jivas are, trying to cheat this reality that we are jivara surupoi krishnara nityadas. The jiva is the natural servant of the Lord, and yet he's turning his back on that reality and instead trying to serve Maya, and in the process of that he's cheating the Lord continuously and himself. Atiko malakanchana dirgatanam tanu nindita hema mrinala madam madanad bhutavandita chandrapadam pranamami sada Prabhupada padam. His tall golden figure, which is very soft, mocks the pride of a golden lotus. His moonlight face, his moonlike feet are worshipped by countless cupids. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, his imposing figure, his form, his personality, without a blemish, powerful, radiant, resonating in the world. So impressive. And so many of his followers that came to his call also had very imposing figures. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Hriday Bon Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dvaita Madhav Maharaj. So many, many glorious, imposing personalities similar to Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati in the same way as their physical beauty and potency came to his call and were empowered directly by him. Nija seva katara karanji vidum viduna hitahun krita simhavaram varana katabali shashanda padam pranamami sada prabhupada padam. He is the pleasing moon for his servitor stars, and with the excellence of a roaring lion he removes inimical persons, causing them to flee in fear. They would flee in fear because of his ability to pierce this veil of illusion so strongly, so powerfully, with his intellect, his words, and the truth of his words would pierce this cloud of Maya in the hearts of those conditioned jivas he would be speaking to, and illuminate them with the compassion of sweetness, of the understanding of the spiritual reality in Goloka Vrindavan. Choosing the shelter of his feet, the innocent attain auspiciousness. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, choosing the shelter of his feet, those innocent personalities, they would attain the ultimate reality, the ultimate goal of life by his mercy, which is the mission of Sachinandan Gaurahari and Rupa and Raghunath. Vipuli krita vaibhava gaura bhuvam bhuvaneshu vikirtita gaura dayam dayaniya ganarpita gaura padam pranamami sada prabhupada padam. He has widely spread the splendor of Sri Gauranga's holy abode, Sri Navadvip Dham. He has specifically glorified Sri Gauranga's mercy throughout the whole world, and he has bestowed Gauranga's holy feet upon those who are most desperate for mercy. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, those who are most desperate for mercy, those who have greed, this lobha. This greed has to be inspired with us, just like we appreciate in the Rai Ramananda Samvad, how when Ramananda Rai, he quotes this verse, Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavidamati Kriyatam Yatita Labhyate Tatra Lolyam Apimulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukrityena Labhyate, that only by this greed will this path of Raganuga be traversed. Without this intense greed to break all obstacles that may come, we cannot move forward. So it's described here, desperate for mercy. We are desperados, so to speak, on this trail to connect with the Lord. That's what we're looking to be inspired by. Jira Gaura Janashraya Vishwa Guram Guru Gaura Kishora Katasya Param Paramadrita Bhakti Vinoda Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam. He is the eternal refuge, and universal Guru for the devotees of Sri Gauranga. He is always dedicated to the service of his holy master, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and he is the abode of utmost honor for the feet of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, without full remembrance today, on his disappearance day, of his divine master, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who he was guided to take shelter of by his most divine father, who was exemplary in his nishta and focus and dedication to bhajan. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is Guna Manjari in the spiritual world. So Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, he took complete refuge of this renounced, externally, almost seemingly illiterate personality, in contrast to his own, Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati's, remarkable erudition. Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj was not exhibiting anything externally of an Aishwarya mood whatsoever. He was a dedicated bhajaniya, sometimes performing his bhajan under a boat, sometimes just under a tree, practically speaking. He knew nothing except the service to the lotus feet of Sri Vashabhanavi, Sri Radhika, and his mood of dedication and complete disdain for the material energy really resonates today deeply when we meditate, when we see the picture of Srila Gaurkishore Babaji. We understand his totally renounced lifestyle and personality and mood. We see he has nothing also to do with this material world, who is the perfect shelter for Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, but in a contrasting way. Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati took this mission into the world. He demonstrated this yukta vairagya, utilizing even motor cars, etc., in the service of the Lord. Srila Gaurkishore Babaji would not even go or visit Kolkata, the city of Kali, he called it. And he told Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati not to go to the city of Kali. But the very day after he had been bestowed Disha, Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, out of his infinite compassionate mercy, neglects that instruction and goes straight to the city of Kali to preach these words of Mahaprabhu to the conditioned souls. This is again demonstrating his tremendous focus and nishta to the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. But he contradicted his guru, and just by that contradiction, in a favorable way, showing us the absolute nishta and dedication to the mission that his father inspired within his heart. So we remember Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj, who was such a dear friend of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He would visit in Svananda Sukata Kunj. When we go today to Svananda Sukata Kunj in Gaudharam Dweep, and we see the very simple, humble bhajan kutya of Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj, we can appreciate his living presence there. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he reasons ill, who says that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and a living try to spread the holy name around. So none of these personalities leave this sphere, this material atmosphere there. The spiritual atmosphere is so much more profound, and it's resonating its sound vibration for those dedicated devotees who wish to connect with that sound vibration. So we can always hear the sweet words of Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj, and of course Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And today we are praying deeply to hear the teachings and direction that Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati is indicating in the darkness of this age of Kali. Raghurupa sanatana kirti taram tarani tala kirti da jiva kavim kavirajanarodama sakya padam pranamami sada prabhupada padam. He shares renown with Raghunath Das, Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, and is glorified the world over for emulating the philosophical genius of Srila Jiva Goswami. He shares friendship with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Narottam Das Thakur. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. This is such a beautiful, beautiful verse, showing Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati's total connection, as we've just said from the previous verse, that these personalities, their sound vibrations never leave this world. So his dedication to the teachings of Raghunath, Rupa Sanatana Goswamis are perpetually glorified in all of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati's presentations, and particularly the philosophical genius of Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, he comprehends like practically nobody else the full genius of Srila Jiva Goswami and is able to present it in a digestible manner to the world. And he shares friendship with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, which means the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, he speaks so much on the glories of this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the particular sound vibration, the most powerful sound vibration, giving us this golden avatar, this Yuga avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the world today. And of course the excellence of the teachings of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. So how beautiful Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj is weaving in these personalities to support his beautiful stava and glorification of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. Without hearing the names of these personalities who Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati is representing, how can we understand the completeness of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati? The completeness in the sense that all the teachings of Rupa Raghunath Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Narottam Das, all of their teachings are pouring forth from the heart of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati for us to catch and grow in a complete manner. Kripaya Harikirtana Murti Taram Tarani Baraharaka Gaura Janam Janadika Vatsala Snigdha Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam. Out of mercy, he reveals himself as the embodiment of Hari Kirtan. He is an eternal associate of Lord Gaura, born to remove the great burden of the earth. His nature is even more loving and affectionate than that of a father. I offer pranam unto his lotus feet. So, he's born. He's an eternal associate of the Lord, in the sense that Sachinandan's mercy is flowing today, just like our Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in his Swarup in this world, as a servant of Mahaprabhu, in his form, as we know his form in this world, was pushing on diligently this movement of Srila Rupa and Sanatan. So in the same way, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati is pushing on this removal of the filth of this burden of Kali Yuga in the hearts of those innocent jivas in the world. His nature is even more loving than an affectionate father. Yes, like an affectionate father will always be forgiving for his wayward sons. He will always be nourishing them. He will always be inspiring them, desiring their progress, without criticism or judgment or envy. So this is the demonstration of his absolute spiritual nature. Just again, like we've seen in the teachings and form of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. His total affection and love for his disciples, his wayward disciples, in so many ways. It breaks our hearts when we hear some of the pastimes of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and the extreme compassion that Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada would demonstrate towards them in all types of conditions and difficulties that they would undergo, but his immense love and affection, just like a father. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati had that same mood, totally loving, totally caring, totally a well-wisher to the core of the hearts. Sharanagata kinkara kalpatarum tarudikrita dira vadanyavaram varajendra ganarchita divya padam pranamami sada prabhupada padam. He is a desire tree of benedictions for his surrendered servants. His patience and benevolence put a tree to shame. His divine feet are worshipped by the best of those who offer benedictions. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. So the eloquence of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj comes through here, that he's like a desire tree for his surrendered servants. He could fulfill all their highest aspirations to connect in this path to the teachings of Mahaprabhu, the path of Ragmarg. Even though Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, he spoke so many times about the prohibitions to this path of Raganuga Bhakti, depending on the purity and sincerity of the sadhak. He emphasized so many times the need to take with the utmost gravity this path of Raganuga Bhakti and not take it lightly and not take it casually. In so doing this, he destroyed the different 14 apasamparayas that had manifested during the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the Gauranga Nagaris, Sakhi Begis, etc. So many of these Sahajya groups had come trying to enjoy the Vrindavan intimate confidential leelas themselves, not appreciating the nature of the gopis' total dedication to Krishna's happiness, not even one iota considering their own happiness or discomfort in their service to Brajendrananda and Shyam Sundar. The gopis are the highest exhibition of love known to man. And this is the same mood that Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati carries into the world. And he gives this truth to his surrendered servants to appreciate the most, this utter sharanagati to the absolute reality of service to the gopis of Vrindavan, who hold and carry. Without service to the Sakhis, nothing can transpire in the path of Sachinandan and Gaurahari, in this path of Raganuga Bhakti. And without that absolute, selfless, selfless dedication to glorifying Brajendranandan, then no truth can be attained. So this is a very, very high ideal, a high understanding indeed. And many have tried to compromise this and reduce it to a lower prakat pastime, where they think they can just enter in an imitationist way. So Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati crushed that mood, and at the same time he gave his servants, his beloved surrendered servants, the true vision of what is Unnata Ujjvala Ras, what is the service to that Swabhakti Shriyam, that Unnata Ujjvala Ras. His patience and benevolence put a tree to shame. How patient he must have been, sitting on such an exalted level with all these conditioned jivas clamoring around him. And he would patiently give them, like a mother practically, a mother's milk of nourishment and a father's benevolent protection. His divine feet are worshipped by the best of those who offer benedictions. So many great personalities are offering benedictions today and glorifying this noble personality. Paraham Savaram Paramarthapatim
Patito dharane krita veshayatim yati rajaganai parisevya padam pranamami sada prabhupada padam. He is the best amongst Paramahamsas. He holds the treasure of the ultimate objective of life, Krishna Prem. He accepts the dress of a sannyasi to uplift the fallen souls. His feet are carefully served by the best among sannyasis. I forever offer pranams unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. Again, such potent glorification. He's the best amongst all these Paramahamsas. This is, of course, how the Shishya, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, will always see his guru, their guru, will always see them as the best. And he is the best from their perspective and from all saintly sannyasis' perspective. Today in Antardvip, in Sri Chaitanya Mat, there will be an enormous festival, and many hundreds of sannyasis will attend that festival today and glorify this supreme noble person. It's the backbone of this Gaudiya mission that he established. This Gaudiya mission is all over the world, fully, solidly established, and this is all due to the immense, diligent seva of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, so carefully following the instructions of his Divine Father and placing these truths into the whole world. The whole world has access to the teachings through the books of Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, through the books of my beloved Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, through so many of the teachings of the followers of these personalities around the planet. In every town and village, Mahaprabhu will have his holy name chanted. So this was the mission of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, which he fulfilled through his devoted followers. Brishabhanu sutta dayitanu charam charana shritarenu darastamaham mahad adbhuta pavana shakti padam pranamami sada prabhupada padam. He is a most beloved attendant of the daughter of King Brishabhanu. He has taken shelter of his feet by keeping their dust. I have taken shelter of his feet by keeping their dust. Sorry, I'll read this again. He is a most beloved attendant of the daughter of King Brishabhanu. I have taken shelter of his feet by keeping their dust on my head. Those feet possess immense and astonishing power to purify. I forever offer pranam unto the feet of Srila Prabhupada. So this is the final verse of this beautiful stava that Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj has gifted to the world, and Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Saraswati himself encouraged to be sung in every temple. And this last verse is clearly demonstrating the identity of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Saraswati as the maidservant. Even though, as we've said earlier, Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Saraswati, he presented many doctrines and teachings of the prohibitions, casting this noble path of rag in a very powerful, protective way in the world, protecting from the imitationists, from the natural selfish nature of the conditioned souls. Nevertheless, he preached beautifully about Sri Radhika. There's many times when he speaks about the Swadhina Bhartika, this highest heroine, Sri Radhika, who has controlled her lover, Swadhina Bhartika. And he spoke all these most rasik descriptions, but only briefly, like removing a veil periodically,
they are all there for the sincere follower of this Rag Marg path to perceive in his teachings. So today we glorify with all our heart and soul this divine personality, and we beg for his mercy today that he will give us this continued inspiration to absorb the divine teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of our Rupanuga Guru Varga, and to take these teachings more strongly into the world, but simultaneously more strongly into our own hearts, that our words will have some potency. Without the practice of bhajan, how can we expect others to listen to our words with sincerity if we ourselves are not following very carefully? So we ourselves must follow most diligently this path that they have, our Guru Varga, have delineated for us. At the same time, we should speak these truths to the best of our ability in the world around us. So today I'm making this brief Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, praying for the mercy of all the Vaishnavas, that they may grant me their mercy to carry on strongly this path of dedication to our Guru Varga. Jai Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Devs Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, who was such a dedicated follower of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati, carrying this message across the world, empowered by his missionary moods and love. He constantly is referencing. Every day he would reference where his potency, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's potency, has come from. It's come from the potency of Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati. So on all areas, all levels, we are glorifying this divine personality today. Srila Bhakitsiddhanta Sarasvati Tirobhava Mahotsav Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhavevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Bal.